Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm finally signing a lease on my new apartment. So it's been a few months since I moved to Seattle now, and it's taken a bit longer than it did when I moved to New York to settle down into an apartment. But this time, what happened was, as you know, I spent last month at what will be my future apartment with the old tenant who was very messy. You saw in the last video what we were working with. So, since she lived there for 10 years and didn't take that great care of the place, it's taken the building management about 3 weeks to renovate and clean the place up for me, which is great. It means hopefully that they're taking the renovation seriously, and I'm super excited because next week I think I'll be able to sign the lease and get into the apartment. So since it's been a while since I've been able to decorate something from scratch how I want it, my styles have evolved. What I'm looking for in a apartment has changed, and it made me really excited to really think about what I want this place to look like. I've got a little spending money, although I think a lot of the furniture will still be IKEA for now. But I got really excited to look at the plan. I created a few renderings I want to show you guys of what I think I want the place to look like, the vibe I'm going for. And it was just a really fun creative side project to do to sort of take the stress away from how busy work has been recently and put some creative energy into something that's just for me. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump in. I want to show you the floor plan of what the apartment looks like, because really so far you guys have only heard me talk about it and seen a few disaster pictures from the previous tenant. Okay, so here's the floor plan. As you know, it's 2 bedrooms. When you walk in, you're greeted with a very long hallway, which I'll touch on later. Right in front of the hallway is the dining area, which has really cool built-in shelving all the way around. To the left, off the dining, is a small kitchen, which is fine for me because I don't cook a lot. I can imagine it would be not very functional for someone that really wanted a lot of space. But overall, the kitchen is not something that I care that much about, so I'm fine with it. Off the dining room to the right is the living room, which is pretty decently sized. I would say it's similar and maybe even a little bit bigger than what we had in New York, but you do lose a little usable space with the 2 entries from the dining and hallway. There's also a sort of subtle bay window area, which adds a little bit of character to the space. And then, so as you walk down the hallway, there are 4 closets, which is crazy. And then at the very end of the hallway is the bathroom, which is pretty tiny, I will admit. The only thing that makes it feel tiny is that when you sit on the toilet, you are directly facing the shower curtain, and it's a little too close. So I'm thinking about keeping the finishes really light in there, keeping the shower curtain really light to sort of make it feel a little bit bigger than it is. So then towards the back of the apartment off the hallway are both the bedrooms. The one farthest to the left is the one I stayed in last month, but is not the one that I'm going to take over when I sign the lease. I'm going to choose the bigger bedroom, even though the closet is much smaller. But I figure for me, it's a better trade-off to get a closet or 2 from IKEA to put my stuff in order to gain a little bit more space for a desk and dresser and to be able to float my bed off the wall like I like to. So the apartment has all wood floors throughout, except in the bathroom and the kitchen. And I'm really hoping they're going to clean them and reseal them before I get in. And they're otherwise in pretty good condition. So I'm thinking every room will have some rugs layered on top to add some softness and to help with sound transfer to the unit below. So basically my plan was to do some renderings, think about what kind of furniture I wanted from a fun creative exercise standpoint, but also because I am going to IKEA next week and I want to make sure I get absolutely everything I need the first time, because it costs, I think, like $100 to get stuff delivered and unloaded for you, which is totally worth it, but I just wanted to make sure I got what I needed, didn't buy things that I actually couldn't really fit, and just start to understand the space that I'm working with. So I'm going to show you a quick view of the hallway, my bedroom, the living room, and the dining room. So this is the hallway. Like I said, it's very long and pretty skinny, and there's not much going on. So my idea was to bring a little bit of life back into the hallway. I had originally thought about maybe some kind of patterned rug, but now I'm thinking that a more simple jute might be nice for helping with any kind of dirt transfer from walking inside. And also, I figure a lighter carpet, something more simple, would probably read better than trying to put something very bold in there. And then you can see on the left wall, I'm sort of doing a bit of a collage to bring some interest and to also be a bit functional. The thing that's getting cut out of frame on the left is the exit door. So I'm thinking I'll have like a cute little mirror. I found this fun thing from IKEA that's very thin, which is perfect for a skinny hallway, that you can put like letters and other notes and things in little cables. It doesn't take up much space, but it's a great thing to have by the door. And then sort of suggesting how I might put some of my art on the walls. And when I actually put the art up, it'll end up being a lot more colorful than it is now. And then on the right, there's a perfect little niche for like an entryway storage piece that I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet, but I was thinking like a darker, pop of teal or something would be really nice and rich. Just to create a really nice moment when you first walk in, with some kind of mirror on the wall to help with the light. And I'm hoping even like some kind of floor lamp if there's an outlet there. I don't quite know if there's any outlets. I know there's not any as you walk farther down the hallway, which is a shame, but I'm hoping I might be able to reach one from this point. And then, no spoilers, but on the right you can get a peek into the dining room, which is my favorite room that basically inspired this whole exercise. I got really excited about the fact that this apartment has a dining room. So I'll show you that after I show you my bedroom. Okay, so like you saw in the plan, my bedroom is pretty decently sized. I would say it is similar to the bedroom I had in New York. It might be a little bigger, but the closet is way smaller, so it's a bit of a trade-off in that sense. The bedroom design I came up with is all centered around this bed I found from IKEA, which I think is super unique and doesn't look totally like a typical IKEA piece of furniture. There's a little more personality to it. So this is the view that you get when you enter the bedroom, and what I'm hoping to do is tuck away my desk on the left side, because that's a good, little niche of wall space. And then on the right side is the small closet that already exists, and I'm hoping right after that to just get a couple wardrobes from IKEA to fill out some more hanging space. And then the bed will go in the center of the room, like I always do. The opposite wall, I think I will have a TV. I didn't have a TV in my room at the end of New York, but the way my workflow has been going, I think it would be nice to have a second screen like a TV, even though I'm not going to have cable in this apartment. And then just a simple media storage unit below. This one I'm showing is actually from IKEA, and they don't sell this color anymore, which is super annoying because I actually really think it looks good. So I'm debating whether it's worth it to buy a different color and paint it, or buy a different color and see if the other color works too. And then in the corner, I'm hoping to just get some kind of standing mirror, maybe a little bit different than how I usually hang them on the wall. Throughout the whole apartment, at first, I think I'm just going to get some sort of sheer neutral curtains to start out with, and then if I want to add more personality later, I might. But I actually kind of like this look of just keeping things really simple and light. Okay, let's look at the living room next, actually, because this one is the least figured out. So the biggest issue with the living room is that there are not really any full walls that can host a TV. So that's why I've put it on this right side wall, which is basically, when you walk in the door and turn right, this is the view you see. The previous tenant had the TV in basically the whole opposite corner of the room where that big plant is on the left, but they had to put it catty corner to the wall and just kind of sat there on a little storage unit, because there is no wall space over there. So the living room is the one I kind of just threw together out of my imagination. I don't know if any of these products will be things I actually end up buying, but I do actually really like how it turned out in the end. I think it looks really eclectic and casual, comfortable, but also very put together, and everything has its own place. And it looks like the right amount of stuff, in my opinion. I think I'm trying to use the space without overfilling it this time. It's really easy, especially in small spaces, to just cram everything you can find in it, and you keep gathering things as you live somewhere. And I'm trying to work with a little bit more of a minimalist approach this time, as I feel like I think better and enjoy myself more in minimalist environments than when everything is a bit cluttered. You can also see I have a grand vision to start keeping plants. I think it will just be so nice, and we have actually finally some good space to put them in this apartment. In New York, we just didn't really have good space the way we laid the apartment out, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But I think being out here, it's such a big part of people's culture and lifestyle, and I really want to get on board. So you can kind of see, actually in all the renderings, there's a bit of greenery added. That is an ambitious goal, but we'll see how it goes. Finally, my favorite room that I'm super excited to have is a dining room, a separate room to eat or work or do whatever you want, that you can set up in a totally different way than you set up a living space. So it's pretty well sized, actually, and it has this cool millwork detail around the whole room, some shelving that somebody put in. I don't know if a tenant or who, but that's pretty cool. I can lean artwork on it or put knickknacks, kind of endless possibilities for that, and I think it'll give the room quite a lot of personality. So you can see right away that I'm playing with the removable wallpaper again in this room. This is the first place that I was inspired to use it. I think it looks really cool. This millwork line gives you a perfect place to start and stop it. I still think it might be too expensive for me, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I could at least do a couple walls, or if I can find a cheap enough supplier, I might be able to do it all. So basically the dining room is actually pretty big, and I'm going to focus on the center for now, and then supporting pieces that go around the room I might fill in later depending on what I need and how much space I end up having. Like I did add this bar cart in the back that rolls, but I don't know if I'm going to buy that right away. I think there's room on the left side and maybe even behind what you can't see for a couple more items, but I'm going to save that for day 2 essentially. But I've been focusing on the centerpiece, which is going to be a big wood table from IKEA, and then some IKEA mismatched chairs around. This whole setup, actually, I just took from one of their inspiration photos they put together, and I thought it looked really sharp and fun, and not too IKEA-y for my taste. And then on the floor, I'm thinking of just doing another jute rug, maybe slightly different than the hallway just for some diversity, but a similar concept, essentially, keeping it very natural and neutral in the dining room. Okay, so that's it. So those are the things I'm planning to do for the apartment. What do you think? I'm pretty excited about it, actually. I don't know how differently it'll end up looking, but that's sort of the fun of doing the renderings, is to see where I start off and then see how it evolves as I move into the space and start to figure things out for real. The last thing I want to share is from the day that Krista and I went to a paint your own pottery studio in the Ballard area of Seattle. It was the same day that I got my haircut, actually. So it's been, I think, 2 weeks since we went. We spent about 3 hours because, it takes me forever to do anything, each painting a piece of pottery. I can actually show you what Krista painted because it's right here. Let me get it. So Krista painted this little bowl, which is super cute. She sort of painted the inside with some little carrots at the bottom, and then she got a stencil to do carrots around the sides. And then also she sort of stippled in dots over the carrots for some interesting dimension. So hers was pretty simple, but really cool, I think, and effective. Mine, of course, was less simple and took longer because that is how I live my life. Nothing simple for me. So I wanted to do something useful for my new apartment and also wanted to do something a bit cheeky and fun. So, I love Gudetama, the lazy egg. So I thought maybe it would be fun and easy to draw to put him on something. So we walked around the store a couple times and I finally settled on a spoon rest. So I found an image on Pinterest that had him surrounded by some different foods like bacon, broccoli, tomatoes, and Krista had a great idea that I could put the little egg in the center, but then have the food going up the spine of the spoon rest. I'm not sure what that's called. So that was a challenge, but I'm very proud of what I made. I think it turned out pretty well, actually, for our first time in years. And the employees actually really liked it too. They posted it to their Instagram. I think they're a sucker for sort of Japanese themed things. And they also were really complimentary when Krista and I went to pick up our pottery. They said that both of ours were really good. I think the the bar is set low because they have a lot of kids' birthday parties there. And I like to think that I am a little more artistically talented than a 4-year-old. But, I'm sure there's some great 4-year-old artists out there, so. But here's a close-up of my little lazy egg. He's so cute, and I'm so happy that I made it. It was a great experience. I'm super glad Krista came with me. I think it made it even more fun. And I think I might want to go back again sometime soon. It's a little addicting, especially when you have ideas. I think when I was younger, I used to panic, and I had no idea what to do. But all you have to do is come up with one idea, and it makes the experience really fun. So thank you again for packing up my stuff for me. I miss you guys a lot, and I can't wait for you all to come see my new apartment this summer when you visit. Hopefully it'll all be done up by then and looking good. But that's all for this episode, so I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye!